Baofeng UV-32. This is a newer Baofeng radio that I just picked up. I don't know, it's actually earlier this year I picked it up. I've tinkered with it a little bit, and I've got some thoughts about it. So this is a Baofeng UV-32, and it's taller. Got a taller antenna. It's still just a dual band. I don't really remember if I've ever done 220 with this or not, so we're going to try some 220 and go from there. I'm going to put this on the Tiny SA. We're going to do a spectral purity test, and I'm going to compare it to another radio that I did a video about earlier this year, and we're going to put it on the power meter because according to Amazon, on this webpage right here, this should be a 10-watt radio. 10-watt rechargeable walkie-talkie UV-32 5RM K5. I don't know if I'd associate a 5RM with this radio. 5RM was crap on the Tiny SA. Handheld two-way radio, NOAA weather receive with GPS. It doesn't do true APRS, so I don't really... These radios with GPS are kind of... There's not much point to them because unless it does true APRS... Yeah, sure, it'll tell you where you are. Your phone will do that even if you don't have a cell signal because it's got a GPS chip in it. So radios with GPS are just kind of a waste in my book. App programming. I am going to download this Baofeng app and try it. I've got 4 or 5 different radios now that this Baofeng Bluetooth app will supposedly work on. I've read mixed reviews about this Bluetooth app. One guy gave the 7 Bravo. I did a video about the UV7 Bravo a few weeks ago, and one guy gave it a 1-star review because he said the app was garbage. I think I might do another video soon about the app itself because I've never installed this app. I don't really want to put a Baofeng app on my phone. I've got a couple of extra Android phones floating around here, so I'll put it on an extra phone and see what it looks like. But let's take a look at this real quick and do a kind of a close-up overhead here. This is obviously the Baofeng right here. This is the Ham Geek that I reviewed. I think it was this year. It might have been last year. I don't remember now. You can see the Baofeng's actually a little bit taller this way, okay? So they're both about right here at the top, taller this way. Baofeng has a bigger screen, okay? The Ham Geek screen is smaller, and the text is smaller as well. So I got a lot of really good comments and good views on this video. When I made this video, I really wanted to do another video about this radio and put it on the computer and program it, and the software for this radio is crap. It is garbage. I installed the driver that they sent me. Didn't have a problem there. Will not read the radio. Tried on 2 different computers. Emailed the guy I bought this from on eBay. He goes, oh no, you installed the driver wrong. I'm like, installed the driver wrong. You go into the driver device manager Windows. It's in there. It says good, working. There's no updates. Okay, fine. There's no errors. And it will not read the radio. So I don't recommend this radio, this Ham Geek radio anymore, simply because you can't get it to read on a computer on a Windows box, which means you're really not going to get it to read on a Mac or a Linux box. But maybe, you know, I was a year and a half ago. So maybe they've updated it. Maybe they've changed it. Maybe they've fixed something on it. And maybe I just got a bad one. That's possible. If anyone's ever programmed this Ham Geek from a Windows box, put a comment in the video below. I would love to know about it. But so far, what I've found is that this Baofeng just kind of generally works better on receive. And it sounds a little bit better on transmit than the Ham Geek does. I just wanted to show the Ham Geek because it was a video that I made a while back. And I got a lot of watch time on that video. A lot of interest in that video. So this right here, see, we got the top band and the bottom band. So we got 146.52 on the top band, KC5 HWB testing, okay, and we can go down here to the bottom band. Kerchunk, my local ULIS repeater right there, okay, and we got 2 buttons on the side over here. This one right here turns on the FM broadcast receiver, and this bottom one here looks like it's doing a PL tone scan. So these 2 buttons here are programmable in the software, or it claims they are. Again, I haven't put the software on, but it claims they are. This is your standard Kenwood K connector underneath the waterproof cover right there, okay? This back here is USB-C on the battery, obviously. One thing that the Ham Geek has that the Baofeng doesn't have is the Ham Geek has an extra screen up here at the top. I thought that having that screen up there at the top, I thought that was a neat feature. I really like the feature of having that screen at the top. This one does not have that. But you see the knobs are the same. The antennas are about the same height, that whatnot. It's got an extra speaker on the back here, and just like this does. And then it comes with a desk charger. I mean, who cares? Because it's got this USB-C in the back, which is on the battery, and the battery connects via the screw on the bottom. So it is waterproof to a certain extent, and so far I've had pretty good luck with it. The thing you'll notice there's no belt clip or anything like that on it. The thing I don't like about it really is that it's a little bit more cumbersome to carry. It does come with this holder. You can kind of MOLLE connect this. It's just one little strap here, and you can connect it to a MOLLE panel on your backpack or whatnot, and it goes It fits in here really good. Goes around like this. Snaps down. So this will hold it on the side of your backpack or your go bag, well, your computer bag or like your antenna bag or something like that for POTA, and you can do that with it. And you can see right there, it comes with several other things on the website right here. We've got this photo here, 2 different antennas, desk cradle charger, earpiece, whatnot, $35, 10% off at the time of this recording. So let's put this on the Tiny SA and see what we can find. Actually, I decided to change my mind and go ahead and do the power test first, because I had some comments on a previous video about doing a power test first so that I know where to set the power output of the radio on the Tiny SA, which is limited to 10 watts. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Today's video is sponsored by Mezzi and Plony coax, who we're using today. They have a wide assortment of connectors and crimping tools and soldering tools and different various sizes and styles of coax, all at the link in the description below. You can save a 10% discount with the coupon code of HR2 cables off of everything Mezzi and Plony. Thank you for sponsoring the channel. So right now, I'm going to take this one, and you can see right here, I've got this set at 146.52, and I'm glad I've already pushed the button before I started the recording. I'm really glad that I did this one first, because it's going to prove that this is definitely a 10-watt radio. We're getting about 10.2 watts right here, which means I'm going to have to turn the power down and do the Tiny output, or Tiny SA output, because that is a 10-watt attenuator on the Tiny SA, and I don't want to burn it up. So 10 watts on 2 meters, really good there. I don't think this thing transmits on 220, but let's... I'm wrong. It does transmit on 220. 3 watts on 223.5. Awesome. Okay, good. So now we're going to go to 446.0 right here. And 6.8, almost 7 watts on 440. So this is a tri-band radio. I wonder if it'll transmit. I kind of doubt it will transmit on 6 meters. 5.2. Nope. Nope. It's not going to let me type a 0 there, so I can't type 525.5. It's going to 500 megahertz, so it's not going to go to 6 meters. It'll probably go to 462.500. People always ask. Yep, there it is. 7 watts on 462.500. We're going into a dummy load right now, so we don't need to ID because it's not actually transmitting. There we go. So it transmits on 220, and it transmits on the GMRS FRS bands. So let's put this on a Tiny SA, and switching over here to the overhead cam, looking at the Tiny SA. Now, I have to turn the power down because this is a 10-watt 40 dB attenuator right here, and I don't want to smoke this thing, and also I don't want an inaccurate test. So we're going to go ahead and turn the power down like it's a 6-watt radio. Perhaps there's a larger attenuator I can get for future videos, but right now this is what we've got. So if I go in here to the menu and I scroll down to program channel and I go to trans power, there it is, trans power, and we're going to go to mid power. Now, we can do high power on 220 and on 440, but on 2 meters, we're going to do mid power. Make sure that's there. Mid power. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's go ahead, and the Tiny SA is programmed for 146.52. Okay, not a very clean signal. Not a very clean signal. You can see right here, it's got harmonics, a second and a third harmonic. Second harmonic's around, okay, that third one disappeared, good. Around 293 megahertz, that second harmonic. So not great, not as good as some Baofengs that I've had in the past, but that's what it is. Okay, so let's go to 220. I'm really curious to see what it'll do on 220. And we're going to change it back to high power. Okay. And now I've got to change my Tiny SA. And we're going to go to measure, harmonic, 223.5 megahertz. Nope. Megahertz. I'm going to go back here and go to level. Minus 40 times 1. And now we're going to key up on high power, which was only like 3.5 watts, as you saw a minute ago. Okay, still kind of dirty, even though it's only running 3.5 watts. Still got a second and third harmonic. I'm guessing if I hold the power down that long, yeah, third harmonic went away like it did on the 2 meter side. Okay. And the second harmonic's only down at like -20, so it's not very powerful. It is there. We want to see everything down below -40. -40 is what this is. -40 is what we set, that -40 times 1. Okay, and you can see the second harmonic has disappeared now. So not too bad on 220. Not too bad. Now let's go to 446. And I've got to reset all this again. Still on high power. 446. And we've got a third harmonic there again, and an eighth harmonic at the top, somewhere around 2.98 gigahertz. And, yep, okay. The third harmonic went away again. Eighth harmonic's still there. Second harmonic's right around 0, so it's definitely transmitting on 446 and around 900 megahertz when you're keyed down there. So, not the cleanest Baofeng that I've tested. I've tested some dirty Baofengs recently, and I've tested some clean Baofengs recently, and guess what? I had high hopes for this one. I did. Now, I'm going to do some tinkering with it, okay, because I like the menu. It's actually outputting 10 watts as it advertises. Okay, it's outputting 10 watts. You can't complain with that. So, it's outputting 10 watts. It transmits on GMRS. Not that I'm telling you should do that. You do you. I don't care. It does 220. So I might try to program some local 220 repeaters around here and try to key it up and see what it sounds like. But it does all of the things. It's just a little dirty. I wish it was a little bit cleaner. Now, your results might vary. In that same video I was telling you about that somebody said you should always test on high power, I agree with that in principle, but again, my attenuator is only 10 watts. And I don't want to smoke it. And also, I don't want to get an inaccurate test if we pump 11 or 12 watts into it. So I'm always going to test it below 10 watts. Maybe I'll look for a 20-watt attenuator. That might be a little bit better for an HT. We'll see. But some of these radios might vary. You might get one that's totally clean, okay? This one's a little dirty. I've certainly seen worse radios, but the last Baofeng that I tested was much better than this one. So it kind of depends on what you want. Again, if you want a clean signal, which you should want a clean signal. I want a clean signal. I want a clean signal with radios that I carry. Because if you have a dirty signal, that means you're transmitting in 2 or 3 places at the same time. So if you're going out in the woods trying to be stealth and all that, and you key up your radio to talk to your buddies or your pals or something, and you're transmitting on 2 or 3 frequencies at the same time instead of just one, going to be a lot easier to direction find you. So who has this radio? What do you think about it? Okay, again, this is the UV-32. There's another one called a DM-32, which incorporates DMR. I'm going to grab that one next. We're going to do a video with that soon. This is the UV-32, 10 watts, tri-band, open for GMRS, true 10 watts on 2 meter band. What do you think about it? Put a comment in the video below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. 73 guys, and we will catch you next time. If you liked this video, check out these videos over here because YouTube thinks you want to watch those next.